What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here with the distance. Got a video for you guys. Fantasy matchup: Bob Foster versus Archie Moore. And this one, light heavyweight. Both fighters are known for taking the trip up north to heavyweight, and both of them having great careers at light heavyweight, but going up north to heavyweight, and never winning the heavyweight championship. I do believe that if it was a time, to where there was like 4 or 5 heavyweight championships, then I believe both of them would have became heavyweight champions. But when they both, but taking consideration that when they both were fighting, there was pretty much one heavyweight championship when Archie Moore was fighting, and there was 2 belts when Bob Foster was fighting. But when Bob Foster was fighting, the heavyweight champion practically held on to both the belts, which is pretty much WBC and WBA. And we didn't have an IBF until 1985, and then a WBO until like 88 or 89. So, just take that into consideration. If there was more belts, then I believe that both of them would have won one of the carnations of the belt. Though Ezra Charles, who was number 5, won the heavyweight championship of the world in like 49, lost to Jersey Joe Walcott. He's probably the only person on my top 5 light heavyweights that won the world heavyweight championship. But anyway, on to the fight. Archie Moore was a great defensive fighter. He's really good at defense, but I do believe that one of the problems that he had was when a fighter would touch him. Bob Foster has 79-inch reach and knew how to use that left jab to as I mentioned, to set up his offense. He would use the left jab to set up his offense and pretty much set up the knockout. But I think that one thing that Archie Moore has to do is take away Bob Foster's jab. And how does he do that? We saw Archie Moore. He had very good blocking techniques. He could block very well, move the head very well, and protect himself very well from the jab. And I like how he would throw his counter looping left hook. It was a counter looping left hook that he could throw very well, and sometimes he could throw that left hook off the jab, and he can move around and protect himself from it. But how's it effective against the fighter with a much longer reach, who can stand from the other side of the ring and get you coming in? And Archie Moore did have good shoulder movement to protect himself from the jab. I believe he kept that the left glove up, and sometimes he would try to go over the top with the right, or sometimes he would move side to side, kind of come around with the left hook. That's what Archie Moore would do. But Archie Moore is a different fighter once you touch them. Once you start to unravage on him. And it's like this with a lot of defensive fighters. With defensive fighters, they become different fighters when the fighter touches them. And that was the case in the matchup in '99 between Trinidad and Pernell Whitaker. That's just one of the cases to where Pernell Whitaker wasn't used to being touched, but then he had a fighter that touched him, and it was different. Or Ali versus Frazier. Ali in the first fight, Ali stood in front of Frazier, and it was a different fight. Because Frazier was hitting him with shots, and he was beginning to touch him. And we saw Marciano versus Moore. I believe this was Marciano's last fight. Moore put up a valiant effort, but he was starting to get touched. He's getting touched by Rocky Marciano. But does Bob Foster throw the kind of combinations that could penetrate the guard? Does he have that type of power that can penetrate the blocking of Archie Moore? When Bob Foster seemed to be mostly long left jab, straight right hand, long left jab, or sometimes hook off that jab. And Archie Moore, I believe, could protect himself from that left jab, from him hooking off the jab. And that was Bob Foster's main punch. If I have to go with if I have to go with a winner to this fight, I'm going to go with Archie Moore in this fight. Bob Foster did a really good job of, as I mentioned in the matchup with Jones, he did a good job of using the left jab and using it to his advantage. But when you take that left jab away, what does Bob Foster have to set up his shots? He's not really setting up his shots if he doesn't have the left jab. Sometimes he would lead in, with the counter, with a not a counter straight, but just a straight right hand, or he would lead in with the hook. But what's going to be there before the hook? An Archie Moore left hand lead. So, I'm going to go with Archie Moore by unanimous decision, because I do believe that Archie Moore is going to have some trouble with Bob Foster in the earlier rounds because of his size. But once he takes that jab away and kind of sidesteps to his right, and kind of takes the jab away and even take the angles away from Bob Foster, that's when Archie Moore is going to start to open up a little more and unload a little more. And I think he can outbox Bob Foster to a decision. So that's my pick. But anyway, that was The Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.